At exactly 1:30 am, my roommate left our hostel room again. So I followed him. What I saw in the forest behind the campus was a ritual that should never exist. I never believed in rituals. At least, not until my second year at the university. My name is Daniel, and I was living in Hostel Block D, room 217. At first, everything about campus life felt normal. Lectures in the morning, football with friends in the evening, late-night assignments in the hostel. But my roommate Kola was different. Kola was quiet. Too quiet. He hardly talked to anyone in the hostel. But the strange thing about him was this. Every night around 1:30 am, he would wake up, dress quietly, and leave the room. At first I didn't care. I thought maybe he had a girlfriend. But one night, curiosity got the best of me. When Kola left the room again, I decided to follow him. I waited for about 30 seconds, then stepped into the corridor. The hostel was completely silent. Most students were asleep. The only sound was the buzzing of the old fluorescent lights in the hallway. I walked down the corridor and saw Kola heading toward the back staircase. That staircase led to the old football field behind the campus. The place nobody liked going at night. Still, I followed him. When I got outside, the night air felt strangely cold. Kola was walking fast, like someone who knew exactly where he was going. He crossed the football field and continued toward a small forest area behind the school fence. My heart started beating faster. Why would anyone go there at night? I hid behind a tree and watched him. That was when I noticed something that made my skin crawl. Kola wasn't alone. 3 other boys were already standing in the forest. And in the middle of them was a man I had never seen before. He was wearing a long black cloth that covered most of his body. Something on the ground with white powder. Strange symbols. Circles. Lines. Things that looked like they came from another world. The boys stood around him quietly. No one spoke. The forest suddenly looked darker. Almost like the light from the candles was swallowing the darkness instead of fighting it. My chest tightened. I should have left. But something kept me there. Then the man spoke. His voice was low and heavy. Tonight, we opened the gate. The boys nodded. One of them stepped forward and placed something in the center of the circle. At first I couldn't see what it was. Then the candlelight moved slightly, and I realized it was a live chicken. The chicken was tied, struggling, trying to escape. The man took a knife. My stomach twisted. He raised the knife slowly, and with one quick motion, he slit the chicken's throat. The sound that came from that chicken still haunts me. Blood poured onto the strange symbols on the ground. Then the man started chanting in a language I couldn't understand. The wind suddenly started blowing hard. The trees began shaking. My heart was pounding so loud. I thought they would hear me. Then something happened that I still cannot explain. The candles started flickering violently. The man raised both hands and shouted, "Bring the offering." That was when Kola stepped forward. But he wasn't carrying an animal. He was holding something wrapped in cloth. He dropped it in the center of the circle. The cloth opened slightly, and I saw something inside. A human photograph. A girl's picture. My chest went tight. The man looked at the picture and smiled. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. "By tomorrow morning, her destiny will belong to you." The boy started laughing. But the laughter didn't sound normal. It sounded desperate. Greedy. Like people who wanted something very badly. Then suddenly, the man stopped chanting. His head slowly turned toward the trees. Toward me. My entire body froze. For a moment, nobody moved. Then the man said quietly, "Someone is watching." My heart dropped. The boys turned around quickly. I ran. I didn't even look back. Branches slapped my face as I ran through the darkness. I didn't stop until I reached the hostel. When I got to my room, I locked the door and pretended to be asleep. About 15 minutes later, Kola returned. I kept my eyes closed, but I could hear him breathing heavily. Then he whispered something very strange. "Now it begins." The next morning, something shocking happened on campus. News spread quickly that a girl from the Faculty of Business had collapsed during lectures. No one knew what happened to her. She was rushed to the hospital. But by evening, students were whispering something terrifying. They said the girl was in a coma. Doctors could not explain it. That was when I remembered the photograph in the forest. And the ritual man's words. "By tomorrow morning, her destiny will belong to you." That night, I couldn't sleep. Around midnight, I looked at Kola. He was sitting on his bed, staring at me. In the darkness, he slowly smiled. Then he said something that made my blood freeze. "You shouldn't have followed me last night." My throat went dry, because I never told him. And the worst part, he wasn't angry. He looked happy.